Most people wait their whole lives for proof before they show up like they're great. They want the results, the praise, the outside validation before they dare to believe they're worthy of standing at the top. But the truth is, the world doesn't reward the most talented. It rewards those who believe it's already theirs. Acting as if you're the best isn't about arrogance or pretending to be something you're not. It's about stepping into the energy, posture, and mindset of someone who knows they belong at the table even before anyone else gives them permission. Every champion, every icon, every outlier started by moving like they couldn't lose, even when no one was looking. This isn't fake confidence, it's self-fulfilling prophecy. The universe bends to those who move with conviction because confidence is contagious. It shapes how people respond to you, how opportunities present themselves, and even how your own mind performs under pressure. When you act as if you're the best, you don't just convince others, you rewire yourself. In this video, I'm breaking down the psychology, the daily actions, and the inner discipline of embodying greatness long before the world hands you a crown. Because if you want to win, you have to start playing from victory, not for it. Let's get into it. To truly act as if you're the best is to embody an inner certainty that doesn't waver in the face of external chaos. It's stepping into every room, conversation, or challenge with the grounded belief that you're already worthy, already formidable, already chosen, even when no one else can see it yet. Most people misunderstand this concept. They think it's about faking it, flexing louder, or putting on a show. But real as-if energy isn't performative, it's foundational. It starts with how you talk to yourself in the silence, how you handle setbacks, how you walk, how you shake hands, how you make eye contact, how you frame losses as lessons instead of proof that you don't belong. When you act as if you're the best, you set an invisible standard in every interaction. People sense it. Your energy becomes a magnet. Your confidence makes them question their own. Your boundaries signal that you're used to being respected. You don't need to announce your worth or compete for attention because your presence does the talking for you. And the irony is, the moment you start moving this way, before the trophies, the followers, the money, or the accolades, the world subtly shifts to match your expectations. People treat you like a leader because you look and sound like one. They defer to your opinion because you carry yourself like someone who's used to being right. You get more opportunities because you signal that you're ready for them. You become the person people want to be around, not because you're perfect, but because you radiate self-trust. Acting as if isn't just about belief, it's about behavior. The micro decisions you make every day to show up as if you've already won, to carry yourself like you've already paid the price, to refuse to fold under pressure because you know that pressure is a privilege reserved for those who are already in the arena. The world responds not to your wish for greatness, but to your embodiment of it. So act as if you're the best. Not to impress anyone, but to train your mind, your nervous system, and your environment to expect nothing less. Over time, that as if becomes as is. And that's how legends are made, not by waiting, but by deciding long before the evidence that you're already what you intend to become. Rewiring self-perception is the heart of becoming the best, and it starts with understanding that your brain follows your behavior long before it follows your self-talk. Most people try to think their way into confidence, waiting until they feel ready, hoping for a surge of motivation, reciting affirmations that feel empty because their actions don't align. But the truth is, identity is built in motion. When you consistently act as if you're already elite, your mind takes those cues and updates your internal story. This is who I am now. Every time you train like a champion, speak with conviction, or hold yourself to a standard that most people ignore, you carve new neural pathways that reinforce your new identity. It's not about lying to yourself, it's about giving your brain new evidence. The body and mind are linked. Change how you behave, and your beliefs begin to change with you. That's why acting as if is so powerful. It sidesteps years of self-doubt and immediately puts you in the arena, making your brain play catch-up. The best never wait for proof. They create it moment by moment through what they do. They step into discomfort, into rooms where they might not be the most qualified, and carry themselves as if they are, forcing their mind to adapt or be left behind. This is how you outgrow imposter syndrome. You don't argue with it, you overwhelm it with action. The more you act as if you're the best, the more you stop seeking permission. The more your nervous system calibrates to high-stakes environments, and the more natural greatness feels. Soon, as if stops feeling like a mask and starts feeling like muscle memory. You begin to trust your instincts, move without second-guessing, and internalize the reality that you belong wherever you decide to stand. And in those moments when doubt creeps in, you lean on your rituals, not your emotions. You let the identity you've built in the dark carry you through the spotlight. This is the rewiring, not waiting for evidence, but generating it, one decision, one behavior, one day at a time. Over time, you become the reference point for others, not because you told them who you are, but because you've trained yourself to believe it and shown it in every move you make. Controlling the frame is the secret weapon of those who act as if they're the best, because the person who controls the frame controls the entire social dynamic, becoming the reference point against which everyone else calibrates their behavior, energy, and even self-perception. Most people walk into a room looking for approval, scanning for cues on how to fit in or how to win over the dominant energy. But when you enter acting as if you're already the authority, you flip that script. Suddenly, others are subconsciously adjusting themselves to you. This isn't about arrogance, it's about silent leadership. It's the difference between waiting to be chosen and moving like you're already at the center. Frame control isn't loud or flashy. It's woven into how you speak, how you react or don't react, how comfortable you are with silence, how little you need to prove. When you act as if you're the best, you never over-explain, never apologize for your presence, never chase validation, and never shrink yourself to make others comfortable. Instead, you hold space effortlessly. Your opinions come out with calm certainty, your boundaries are clear and non-negotiable, and your energy invites others to either rise to your standard or quietly step aside. Over time, this frame setting becomes magnetic. People naturally look to you for cues, permission, and direction. You become the gravity in the room, not by dominating, but by being unshakably self-possessed. Even your body language, shoulders back, eye contact unbroken, stillness and movement, signals that you're at home in yourself and therefore in any situation you enter. The power of frame control is that it transforms the entire social landscape. You stop being reactive and start being the reference. The more consistently you act as if you're the standard, the more others fall in line, not out of intimidation, but out of respect. This is how the best quietly command attention, influence outcomes, and create opportunities without ever forcing it. They don't adjust their energy for the room adjusts for them. And if you keep reinforcing this frame, eventually people stop questioning whether you belong. They simply accept that you do. That's the real shift, becoming the measure, not the one being measured. And when you master this art, you don't just change how others see you, you change how you see yourself. No longer waiting for permission, but moving as if you are the permission. True quiet power is the signature of those who act as if they're the best, and it's what separates the genuinely elite from the pretenders who need to shout about their greatness to feel relevant. Overcompensation is the mask of insecurity. Those who haven't truly embraced their own excellence are the ones who crave recognition the loudest, always broadcasting their victories, exaggerating their skills, or flexing for an audience. But the ones who genuinely move as if they're the best have nothing to prove because their confidence is built on evidence, the daily discipline, the relentless standards, the ability to keep showing up regardless of who's watching. You'll notice they never need to one-up anyone, never interrupt to dominate a conversation, and never use status to diminish others. They're grounded, observing more than they speak, making their presence felt through calmness and consistency. This kind of power is both magnetic and disarming. People feel it in the way you walk into a room and don't rush to be the center, in the way you make eye contact that's firm but never aggressive, in the way you listen deeply and speak only when you have something real to say. Quiet power doesn't fear silence, doesn't chase applause, and doesn't lose composure when challenged. It simply exists, unshaken by the opinions of others. This is what the loudest rarely understand. The more you need to declare your greatness, the less people believe it. The more you embody it without announcement, the more people feel compelled to believe it for you. The best leaders, athletes, artists, and entrepreneurs all share this quality. They let their consistency and composure do the talking. When setbacks hit, they don't crumble or rant, they recalibrate and move forward. When haters appear, they don't get defensive, they become more selective with their energy. The world watches, waits, and eventually follows the person who commands respect quietly, because it signals a depth and certainty that can't be faked. To master acting as if you're the best, drop the urge to overcompensate. Train yourself to be still in victory and humble in dominance, to let your results echo while you remain unhurried and unbothered. The quieter your power, the deeper it runs, and that's the mark of someone who no longer needs to act, because greatness has become their baseline. Building the habits of the best is where the act as if mindset becomes reality, transforming raw belief into unbreakable routines and daily disciplines that quietly stack the evidence for your own greatness, until there's no difference between what you act like and what you actually are. The truth is, the best don't just imagine themselves at the top. They reverse engineer every detail of how that version of themselves would move, work, recover, and execute. If you want to act as if you're the best, you start by asking, how would the elite train today? How would the best in my field prepare, respond to setbacks, use their mornings, or sharpen their craft when no one is watching? Then you do that, day after day, until the gap between as if and as is disappears. Champions don't wait for motivation. They build rituals that make motivation irrelevant. They create frictionless routines so their highest standards become automatic. They keep their promises to themselves, never missing a workout, never half committing to a project, never letting their words slide, even if no one else will know. This level of consistency becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Each win, no matter how small, reaffirms the identity of someone who's different, who's rising, who's meant to win. And when failures come, as they always do, they don't spiral. They recalibrate. They study the loss, adapt the process, and return stronger, because the habit of resilience is now baked into who they are. The best make their environment work for them, removing temptations, surrounding themselves with high achievers, keeping their spaces organized, and turning downtime into opportunities for growth. They feed their minds with what expands them, guard their energy fiercely, and never outsource their accountability. The deeper you go into these habits, the less you feel like you're acting, because every routine, every system, every micro decision is now rooted in reality, not hope. And soon, you become undeniable. Your work speaks before you do. Your progress is visible even to those who once doubted you. That's the paradox of act as if. The more relentlessly you align your habits with the best, the more you become the proof that belief isn't fantasy. It's a blueprint. And anyone willing to follow it brick by brick will eventually look in the mirror and realize, I'm not acting anymore. I'm living it. Body language and presence are the silent forces that make acting as if you're the best more than just a mental game. They turn your self-perception into a contagious reality, influencing not only how others see you, but how your own brain and nervous system process stress, challenge, and uncertainty. The best don't just think differently, they move differently, hold themselves differently, occupy space with an ease and authority that's impossible to ignore. This begins with posture, shoulders back, chin up, relaxed yet intentional movements, breathing deeply instead of shallow. These physical cues send messages to your brain, triggering hormonal shifts that literally raise your confidence and lower your anxiety. But it goes beyond mechanics. It's the energy you radiate when you enter a room, the way you take your time rather than rushing to prove you belong, the steady eye contact that communicates self-respect and zero intimidation. Masters of presence never fidget, never shrink, never apologize for existing. They make others feel seen without scrambling for approval. Even their stillness has weight,
a calm, grounded silence that draws others in and subtly places them in your orbit. The research is clear. People respond to nonverbal cues faster and more deeply than words. So the way you stand, gesture, or listen will set the tone long before you speak. Adopting the body language of the best also primes your mind for performance. When you carry yourself as if you're unbreakable, your physiology rises to meet your expectation. You become more resilient to setbacks, more focused under pressure, and less likely to fold when challenged. This is why champions spend so much time on micro details: the way they walk onto a stage, the stillness they maintain during conflict, the deliberate pace in their routines. Everything signals, "I belong here. I've done this before. I'm not acting out of hope. I'm embodying mastery." And as you reinforce these cues, others treat you accordingly, offering trust, respect, and opportunity to the one who looks like they already own them. The transformation is cyclical. Your presence strengthens your mind deepens your presence, and together they make acting as if feel like home. Over time, you won't just look like the best, you'll be unable to remember what it felt like to move any other way. Handling doubt, haters, and failure like a champion is where the act-as-if mindset is truly stress-tested and forged into something unbreakable. Because it's easy to move like you're the best when everything is going your way, but the real power shows up when the world challenges your identity. When people doubt you, criticize you, or when setbacks threaten to pull you back into insecurity. The best never respond to hate or setbacks with desperation, overreaction, or self-pity. They respond with a stoic calmness, an unbothered energy that signals to everyone, including themselves, that their belief isn't based on outside applause, but on an internal contract that can't be broken. They see criticism as noise, not gospel. Feedback as data, not a verdict on their worth. When failure hits, instead of spiraling, they immediately reframe it as feedback, a test, or a necessary step in the process of mastery. The as-if champion doesn't try to win everyone over or defend every move. They stay mission-focused, using every hater as evidence that they're on a path worth noticing and every setback as proof that they're taking risks others are too scared to face. This is where most people crack. They let external voices rewrite their internal narrative, start playing small to avoid pain, or abandon their standards at the first sign of struggle. But when you act as if you're the best, your resilience becomes your reputation. People start to associate you with composure, consistency, and the ability to keep moving when others freeze. The world tests the strong with adversity to see if they're really who they claim to be. If you pass that test, if you keep showing up, keep refining your process, keep moving as if you've already earned your place, doubt loses its grip, haters lose their power, and failure becomes a stepping stone, not a wall. In these moments, the as-if mindset isn't just a performance, it's a shield, a reminder that greatness is built not in the absence of criticism or defeat, but in how you respond to it. Every champion has doubters. Every icon has critics. The only question is whether you let them define you or you define yourself regardless. Act as if you're the best, especially when it's hardest, because that's when everyone else is watching, and more importantly, that's when your mind is deciding what you'll become next. Integrating the as-if mindset for life is where acting transforms into being, and temporary confidence hardens into permanent identity. Because greatness is never about a single moment, a single performance, or a single victory. It's about showing up every day, in every situation, as the person you intend to become, until the world has no choice but to believe it, and, more importantly, until you can no longer remember what it felt like to doubt it. At this stage, you've repeated the rituals, you've weathered setbacks, you've carried yourself with composure even when no one was watching, and you've made belief your baseline rather than a borrowed mask. Now, the as-if isn't a stretch, it's muscle memory. You instinctively walk, speak, and act from a place of earned conviction. But to lock it in for life, you must keep sharpening your edge. Regularly reflect on your growth, identify the new standards that serve you, and have the humility to adjust when old patterns creep in. True champions don't become rigid, they remain students, updating their self-image as they evolve, never letting past success breed complacency. Keep your circle tight and honest, surrounding yourself with those who reinforce your new identity and call out any slide into comfort or self-doubt. Review your results, not with arrogance, but with gratitude and precision, always asking, how can I move more powerfully tomorrow? This is where you fuse ambition with acceptance, content with how far you've come, yet always hungry for what's next. Over time, this constant integration turns acting as if into being as is. Your presence is your statement, your routine is your evidence, and the doubts of the past fade into background noise, replaced by the steady hum of self-trust. When setbacks come, as they always will, you don't revert, you recalibrate. You don't fake belief, you live it. And the final sign that you've integrated the as-if mindset is simple. You inspire others, not by telling them you're the best, but by showing them what it looks like to become the best from the inside out. The act is over. The crown is yours, not because someone handed it to you, but because you became the only one who could wear it.
Acting as if isn't about ego or delusion. It's about building the inner and outer standards that force your reality to rise to match your mindset. Most will wait their whole lives for someone else to validate their potential before they dare to own it. But if you're serious about greatness, you know the truth. You must become the evidence first. The world responds to the person who steps forward without waiting for permission, who commands respect with silent certainty, and who lives every day like their place at the top is a fact, not a fantasy. Let others hesitate. Let others seek approval. Your path is to embody the best, move with the best, and keep leveling up until acting as if is just who you are. If you're ready to build this edge for life, subscribe, drop a comment on which mindset shift hit hardest, and share this with someone who needs to see what unapologetic belief really looks like. Stay relentless, stay grounded, and remember, the crown is always claimed from within.